beautiful freaks. Welcome to a brand new episode of FREAKQUELS. I'm your host, EJ Leeson, and with me today is my co-host, the dashing Rory Colorasi. What's up, man?
I just did a bunch of cocaine, and I'm ready to start playing this show and getting the episode going because I'm on a lot of cocaine, and I would think it would be fun to talk about the movie that we were just going to talk about.
Calm down.
Very cool. And also, of course, the pod keeper himself. And when he gets
Very level.
Yeah.
No drugs.
No
drugs.
alcohol. And when he gets tickets to a concert, he prefers the C-section. Young Vince. What's up, baby?
I love that idea. He wasn't even born. He was pulled from the womb.
Pulled from the womb.
Pulled from the womb.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm fantastic. It is, for all you frequents, 10:44 p.m. on a school night.
Yeah.
And we are recording our second episode. This is a double.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed the first episode. It was fantastic. We had one of the best guests that we've ever had in that episode. I love him. He's one of my favorite people. Matt Rinaldi. I love having him on. Every time he's in the area, I want to have him on the show. That's just my opinion. But let's talk about this episode. Bride of Chucky. Yeah.
Matt Rinaldi, our special guest. How are you doing, sir?
I'm tired. I can't sleep. I'm trying to sleep because I'm still
So, for you listeners, where we record, the room that we record in is called the back room at Three Jacks Burger Bar, but it is right next to the office, and that is where Matt lives.
He's been staying there.
It is a 6 by 8 foot room. There's no room in there for you to lay down, so he has to stand up every time he sleeps. It's weird, but...
And I just have no choice, I guess, just to be here and talk. So
Yeah. And you're surrounded by your new project, your Popeyes.
Your Popeyes.
So, you're just in the closet, just surrounded by pies.
I tried one of your Popeyes, by the way, to support you because you're my friend. A lot of bones. Found a Band-Aid in one.
Are they human or animal?
I thought they were
mostly,
fingernails, but they weren't.
Well, mostly beaks. Whatever I find in the alleyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got the gravy simmering in the kitchen. Let's just wrap it up because I want to go to bed.
Oh, yeah. So, is there anything new? Did you guys see any new movies or anything?
I went into the bathroom and I found a bunch of these pills underneath the sink. And I took some just now while you guys were talking about Popeyes.
Wait,
and
Yeah.
wait, hold on a
whoa,
second.
whoa.
I just want to tell you what I'm doing right now real quick. I took a bunch of pills and it leveled out the cocaine, so I think I'm back on the same frequency with you guys.
Oh, very cool.
The men's bathroom?
Yeah,
Under the sink on the left side? Or...
the very same.
Okay. How many did you take?
I don't know, most of the bottle, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
not all of it, right?
I mean, what would that be a problem if I did?
No.
I see black.
Okay.
Yeah, talking really quick about your Popeyes,
I think I
your
need
gravy
help.
diggers, the gravy diggers.
Yeah, sure.
I only have like
I need to
one
go to the
complaint.
hospital.
You'll be
I
fine.
just was like
I'm so
pretty
sick.
much just over my toilet,
Yeah.
just shitting my brains out. Is there like some way you could change
The recipe?
the recipe? Like
Maybe some
the
of
whole
the
thing?
ingredients?
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
Absolutely not.
but that's like a normal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay.
How about botulism? Is there anything we could do about getting rid of that?
Well, it's whatever I find in the bag. Like,
So, let me ask you a question. Do you
Yeah.
have to put paint into the Popeyes?
that's what gives it that creamy texture, my friend.
Oh,
You know what I learned the other day? You know what tastes like red paint but is blue?
Huh.
Blue paint.
I never knew that.
Yeah. All paints they taste the same.
They taste
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah. All of them. It doesn't matter if it's purple or blue or red. It doesn't matter. All paint, it tastes the same.
Well, I'm going to challenge you on that.
All right. Well, figure out for yourself.
So, let's talk about the movie we are doing today.
Wow.
And I just have a question. Did you guys enjoy this movie? I know you said you were like 50-50 when this came out, right? Like you weren't...
This is a fun fact. When I was 13 or 14. I might have been younger. I saw this in the theater, and it was my very first cinematic disappointment. When I went into the theater, I was so pumped for this because I loved the other three so much. Then I went to see this one. My expectations were soaring, you know? And I remember leaving the theater, and I was like, I hate this movie. But over the years, every so often, I rewatch it, and I like it a little bit more. And last night when I was watching it, I loved it. So I feel like it kind of grew on me over the course of like.
I was going to say, I think that's what's fantastic about these movies is that you can watch something when you watched it the first time, and then now, how many years later, it's enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't think I was prepared for the tonal shift because like the first three were very much like you know, for the most part like straight up horror movies. And then the fourth one, it was just like, we're not taking anything seriously. And like, I don't think I was ready.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like, you know, just years, I guess maybe just having seen so much stuff since then and growing up.
Maturing.
I don't know if that happened. But I just remember like when I was watching it last night, I was just like, man, Brad Dourif is a national treasure.
Yes, he is.
That doll feels like I'm watching an actor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
It's
thought the
so
puppeteering in the movie is the best out of all the movies, I think.
I would agree in the sense that the comedy in this is fantastic. It is timeless. It doesn't like as it can be like kitschy and whatnot, but like it's fantastic. I thought it was so funny.
We're gonna stop on some of the
There's
greater
a lot of
comedic beats.
There's a lot of shit in this that was awesome.
I would say at this point now, I probably would say that it's like up there with the other three for me now.
Yes.
It just took a while, but I do remember that sinking feeling of like, oh my god, like I hate a Chucky movie.
Yeah.
And now I'm like,
And now you're like, no, it
no,
works.
I actually really like it a lot.
This many years
How
later.
about you, Matt? You saw it in the theater too?
I did. I was 14. I remember seeing it with a few friends. I think we snuck into it. It was the what was the marquee before?
United Artists.
Yeah.
United Artists.
Yeah, I was probably there
You probably were.
before we met.
Way before we met. How about that?
Did you feel someone breathing on your neck?
Love story for the ages.
Yeah, we were in the same theater. Anyway, but did you like it when you first saw it?
Yeah, I did. I wasn't disappointed with it.
No?
I enjoyed it. I was 14. It's just a lot of fun. It was like a road trip movie. But yeah, I agree. Like you had to adjust to the tonal shift, but totally worked for me. You know, as a 14-year-old, sneaking into an R-rated film.
Yeah.
You know, like one of the first scenes, like dude's throat slit. Like, wow.
It's everything you want as a
Gnarly.
child,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For sure. How about you, Eej?
Yeah, no, I saw this in the theater. I actually loved it when
Did
I
you?
first saw it, but
Yeah.
I agree with the tonal
right.
shift. So,
I'll stop everyone. This movie came out in 1998. Who saw it in the theater? You saw it in the theater. You saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
So how old were you when this came
I was
out?
14.
yeah, I was
You were
probably, like,
14.
14-ish.
You were
yeah,
14. All right.
15.
Not
maybe?
too young to see it, but
Yeah.
did this leave an
15,
impression
yeah.
on you
That's
for
probably
the
like
rest of your
13,
life?
I guess. About that?
You didn't see it in the theater, but
I
you
did.
saw it. Oh, you did?
But yeah, I was there
Good
opening
God.
night.
Oh no, I was 15.
You
'Cause
were there
I took-
Okay,
opening
so then I
night.
would have been 14.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I was 14. But
Yeah.
I was there opening night. I was like counting down days. I bought the soundtrack to this movie like weeks before it came out.
All right, so
Great
Yeah,
soundtrack.
Rob Zombie. Yeah.
Rob
Yeah.
Zombie.
Living Dead
All right,
Girl.
listeners, if you don't think that we have the credentials to do podcasts about this stuff, 3 of our people were there when the movie came out. I was not, but these people were. That I don't know what that says about them or what that says about me, but these guys love.
Not only did we see Bride of Chucky opening night, but we also saw Bride of Frankenstein opening night.
Yes, we did.
1935.
Yeah.
It was
Impressive.
terrifying.
Yeah, it still spooks me.
Still gives me the willies. No, I loved the movie. It definitely was not on par with the first 3 when I first saw this, but I mean it's still not. I feel like the first 3 are kind
Better.
of perfect. Yeah.
2
But it's like, but I
enjoyed.
mean, of everything that's come out since, I
Post.
feel like it's probably the closest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's a well-made movie too. I
Yeah.
mean, like one of the things I kept noticing last night when watching it Ronnie Yu,
Yes.
fucking beautiful shots in that movie.
Oh,
like he has
there's
like a
some-
beautiful visual style in that movie.
Yeah, I love. There's a lot of really cool, like, shots that he does have, especially when she uses the lighter for the first time, and
Yeah.
you kind of like have that backdrop behind her, but it just feels very cinematic.
Yeah, it's very cinematic. There's like shots in it where you're like, this guy was taking this project very seriously.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, but I actually I enjoy it, and it's definitely my favorite sequel post 3.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and
I saw it almost as an homage to what we did 2 weeks ago, which was Bride of Frankenstein. It was beautiful. It was beautifully shot. I saw a lot of things that they were trying to take from that and bring into this,
yes,
including literally the original film.
movie.
Yeah,
yeah,
which I thought was awesome because of you guys and making me watch that.
Hey, you know what's really cool too? We started the month with Bride of Frankenstein and ending the month with Bride of Chucky. That was maybe planned on my part. I don't know.
But yeah, I really enjoyed all the work that is in this movie, especially with like the puppet design. David Kirshner, who produced the movie, actually designed the puppets and stuff too, and so I feel like that look of Chucky, like that new
The
aesthetic,
sewing and the
yeah, like how he's Frankensteined together.
Even
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the metal plates underneath
Yeah.
and stuff.
And
Because
the
I think I commented on that in the.
last episode,
Yeah, and
or
I-
on
Bride.
Bride of,
No, I'm not
yeah.
joking. Literally, thank you guys for making me watch that before I watched this.
Yeah.
Because there was so many ties to it that I was like, oh, I get that reference. I get this. I get that. I get that. There was a lot of that in this movie.
There's even like what she says to him at the end when she's
Oh.
like, "We belong dead."
Yes,
100%. No. 100%. That's why I'm thankful that you made me watch that first.
Yeah.
And by
Wait,
the way,
you guys not even realize you did that?
no.
That was your intent the entire
Oh
time?
yeah, planning.
yeah.
Very careful planning.
Yeah.
You're smart.
We's a smarties. That doll design for Tiffany is also just like a thing. Like again, as a kid, I probably didn't appreciate it, but I'm watching it last night with more of like a critical eye, I guess. And I'm just like, man, that's such a great design. Like she looks so cool.
It's iconic
Yeah.
now. You know what I mean? There's so many conventions where we see people dressed up as like Chucky and Tiffany. The character definitely took on its own. Like we see like adults or even kids dressed up as Tiffany
And
now.
and Jennifer Tilly, I give her all the credit in the world for just having the time of her life playing that character because she sounds like
Yes.
she's having so much fun.
yeah, and Brett
Yes.
Dourif too.
Oh well, he's just like
He's
a rock
always
star.
freaking
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, there's lines that he delivers in this movie that like I just kept, I was like cackling.
Yeah. I kind of sold Chris to watch the original Dune by telling him, I was like, Brett Dourif's in the original Dune, like the 84 Dune.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, really? Maybe I'll watch it then. I was like, yes. Because growing up, that was like the Dune I had, you know, and then with the new ones coming out, I'm like, I love it, don't get me wrong. But there is a special, like, almost like a Flash Gordon-esque thing with that original Dune that I love it. But yeah, Brad Dourif, it just crushes it in this movie. He's so funny.
A lot of funny lines.
Yeah.
So many one-liners. They're awesome.
And the puppeteering in this is like unbelievably good.
Yeah.
All the emotion that they put into the faces, like when he sees her murder, you know, for the first time, kind of, and he's just like,
I love you.
I love you. And you like every expression is so amazing.
It's very
like
detailed.
I can't. You think that these are actually real.
That's
like,
what I was saying before.
Real people. You know what I mean?
It's you
wild.
listen to that voice come out, and it's every so often I'm just like, that's a robot.
It's
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god! Like it just feels like I'm watching like an actor.
and
It's so good.
He's super authentic in it. Like he delivers the lines like, no, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Like who that voice, that's the person.
And the laugh, iconic
laugh.
The
laugh.
most amazing. Actually, when we were watching last night, Becca even said that. Like at the same time, we were both just like, "What a great laugh!" Oh,
yeah, yeah.
you know? But
But yeah, no. So let's
jump in.
dive in. Yeah. So
Are we going to go right to the puppet sex scene? Or no. Let's
yes.
start at the beginning.
We'll
You're right.
start at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Okay, good.
We'll cover that just specifically for you.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
So
Spoiler.
and we start off, and it's like this evidence locker, and we see like some cool little Easter eggs of like Freddy's glove, Jason's mask, Michael Myers' mask.
A very off-brand Jason mask.
Yes. Oh, yes. Very.
They could have
like,
tried a little harder with that mask.
Yeah, that was like the one
That's
that.
like you go to like Rite Aid.
Yes, Rite Aid or like Dollar Store.
Dollar Tree?
Yeah.
Dollar Tree and
glow in the dark.
Walmart. It's like, here's a glow in the dark Jason mask. You're like, it doesn't look like his actual mask.
No, like the Michael Myers mask is like dead on, and then
Yeah.
like there's like the chainsaw. I don't know how you screw that up.
Yeah,
But, like,
yeah,
But yeah, it's like every time I watch that movie, I'm like, great Easter eggs for the most part.
yes. So we see this evidence locker, and this police officer, he breaks in. Well, he doesn't really break in, but he does open the evidence locker to find
It's Officer Bailey.
Officer Bailey. He finds
Was the break-in was it legal or illegal?
I don't know. He probably had the keys to do it,
I'm just-
but him stealing it from the
I'm
evidence
just
is,
asking
like,
if there
illegal.
is another case of breaking and entering.
Ooh, in a way,
I think this one was clean.
Okay.
this
Yeah.
is a clean break.
It was an inside job, like police. Like
Inside job.
Police taking evidence. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we got plenty of other movies, Vince,
With-
involving breaking and entering.
So he jets out and he gets in his car and he has this bag, and we don't know what's inside, but we probably have an idea of what it actually is. And he gets a call from Tiffany, and he's like, "Yeah, I got this stuff." And then she's like, and he goes to take a peek, and she's like, "Don't look inside." I forget what the line is exactly, and he's like, "Oh, whatever." And so he shows up, and he's waiting for Tiffany, and she arrives, and she immediately cuts his throat. After confirming that he did steal the
Yeah,
evidence
within seconds.
within
Yeah.
seconds. And so she takes not only the bag, but also his lighter,
Yeah.
which plays into something later on. But we
Hey,
have
let
that
me take this
awesome
future
shot
evidence. Yeah.
of her like walking out of the warehouse.
Not just that
the
shot
whole
right
lighting.
Well, when she's like face to face
Yes.
with the doll.
Oh.
Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly.
And then like the music kicks in, like
Yeah,
the Rob
that-
Zombie song. It's so good.
It's so good.
That was another thing too. I was watching. I don't even know why I cared about this, but like I like that wide of her just like walking out of that garage.
Yes.
I was like,
And
right
even
on, man.
like how the text is, it's like bride of, and then it's all like CGI for the Chucky. It's like the flesh parts of his body
Mm-hmm.
that kind of make up like the title. So cool.
It's awesome.
It looks awesome.
Cool
And-
little choices that weren't necessarily like something that was this grand scheme of things, but it just came across really nice.
Yeah, and then like you said, that shot of her walking out, and then the music is like absolutely perfect.
More Rob Zombie.
and it really sets a tone for this movie. Like I don't know why, but it does in a
It's
weird.
evolved because his music is in like so many movies.
Yeah.
I don't think his music has ever been used better than in that part of the movie.
Yes,
Bride of Chucky
absolutely
is like
agree.
Living Dead Girl. It's just chef's kiss.
Yeah, because and it gives you the hint she's a femme fatale.
Yeah.
Even after we see her slice a throat, it's kind of like, yeah, we're confirming that for you guys
Yeah.
with a Living Dead Girl.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Elle, if you're out there, can you go back and reference all of the episodes that have Rob Zombie in it? If you can do that and get back to us, I'd appreciate it. Because this is another one, because the last episode that we did also had Rob Zombie, right?
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah,
So,
that's right.
We're just going to keep mentioning them.
Yeah. And so she's walking out, and then we see like a clip of her apartment, and there's all these different clippings about Charles. Excuse me, about Charles Lee Ray, and like all the murders he committed, and then his death, and so it really plays into they have like this history.
And also, like, it also gives you a little bit of the backstory, even like with Andy. It's
Yeah.
it's a nice way because at this point you have to figure it's been like 8-10 years since
Right.
Child's Play 3. So it's like a nice way to kind of catch the audience up,
Yep. Yeah.
It's like no one's sitting around talking about it. It's just kind of like the credits are playing. They're showing you some newspaper clippings. This is who Chucky is. This is what Chucky turned into. This is what he's done. This is who he's affected.
Yes.
And it's quick.
It's showing, not telling, right?
Yeah.
So instead of using all this exposition that most of us already know, they're like, we'll just show it in like a montage kind of quick way.
Yeah.
And it works so well for this movie. And then we see where she starts to stitch, him together, and she has all these other doll parts that she's using to like pretty much Frankenstein him
I
back
like
to
the
life.
dumping out of parts and seeing an arm and a leg and her literally piercing the skin to get it.
It's such a callback to Bride of Frankenstein because it's stitching together something from like deceased creatures.
It's super cool. Yeah.
And so anyways, like the doll
Your doll?
Yeah, doll. So we see like it's now fully back together, and what a freaking cool design for Chucky. I think it's like pretty iconic now, especially because you have like the different forms of his looks like throughout the year, but I feel like that definitely is up there as one of his best looking ones. I do like in the TV show, they have a show now of Chucky.
What?
Yeah. The one where he has like the bloated face.
Yeah.
I do love that design too. But the Bride of Chucky design is probably one of the best of designs for Chucky.
I know I see a lot of the two of them together. Whenever I see Bride of Chucky, it's not just Chucky, it's him and her together, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like
Wait,
a horror movie power couple.
can you do the math real quick versus what do we do? Child's Play 2?
Mm-hmm.
How many between that and this?
There's only one other one.
There's
just
only
Child's
one other
Play
one?
3 and then Bride of Chucky.
So I didn't miss much?
No.
Well,
Yeah, you just missed
depends
one
on
movie.
what you mean by that. Because Child's Play 3, I know it's not held in as high
I'll be
regard
honest.
for some people, but I think 3 rocks.
Yeah,
Really?
3's probably my favorite.
All right, so I saw 2. What's better, 2 or 3?
I think, oh man, that's tough. Like they're both amazing. I quote 3 way more than 2, and I might be on the 3 side.
I'm with 2, but like I feel like friend of the show, Dylan Purdy.
Dilly.
His
Shane
son Leo
Purdy,
was here,
yes.
and Leo summed up the relationship between this child. Summed it up so perfectly in a way that I couldn't do it myself. With Child's Play and Child's Play 2, he's like Child's Play 1 is literally 1% better than Child's Play 2, and I feel like Child's Play 2 is literally 1% better than Child's Play 3. But it's just like hearing it from this little kid. I'm like, yeah, right on.
Yeah,
I told him straight up, I'm like, stealing that.
I got
yeah,
it.
my guy. yeah,
Hey.
my guy.
Shout out, Leo. You didn't know it, but you're here now. Okay.
All right, so we cut over to Jade's house, played by Katherine Heigl, who we just covered on the last episode.
It's a Katherine Heigl extravaganza.
Yes, I didn't even remember that she was in Valentine, and I kind of
She doesn't either.
Yeah,
Problematic to work with.
yeah.
Allegedly.
But you could see her acting definitely improved in Valentine. I wish we got her acting from that in this movie, because I feel like she's not
Did it.
the best. And
Did it.
I don't know. In a couple of years, I think it kind of improved a little
She's a
bit.
good actress. I bet it was probably just. I would say the problem is that all the good writing went to the dolls.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yes.
They're like, "What's my character? You're a girl.
You're a
What's
girl?
my character? You're a boy.
You're gonna
There.
die.
Do something."
Did you guys see Natural Born Killers? Just do that. Like,
But like lame.
but like you guys are innocent.
Yeah, but don't be good.
Yeah.
Don't be good. We don't want you taking away the attention from the dolls.
So we cut
Don't
over
be
to
good.
Jade's house,
Please.
and we
At
get
least they follow orders.
yeah,
Please.
and we see that Dave is there to pick her up for a date. And I actually really like the Dave character. I
have that
think
in
he's
my
like
notes.
one of the better actors in the movie.
Alexa Arquette. No, wait.
We're not
No,
there
no,
yet.
no, no.
Oh, God. Okay.
Dave is the guy, the blonde guy that goes to pick her up at the house, and fools,
Yes.
he
the
plays
boyfriend.
I've
Yes.
always loved his character.
Yeah, I think he's like
Yeah.
the better actor in the movie too.
Oh,
And,
he's like acting circles around those.
yeah,
two.
it's incredible. It's like, oh, this is, I don't know. So, anyways,
Put an aspirin in the water.
yeah.
It lasted a whole week.
So Dave arrives and he's getting grilled by Jade's uncle, the late great John Ritter. And
Emphasize the word "great."
yes, I
Super
can't
great.
begin to explain my love of John Ritter. Now Rory knows this, but Three's Company is like my favorite TV show of all time.
We don't have the time to pay homage to him. Yes, I agree. Yes.
No, he is just like outstanding and one of my role models. I wanted to grow up and be Jack Tripper. But anyways,
He was a sweetheart.
oh, he was
Yeah.
just the coolest guy. I hearing all the different stories about him, he was just awesome.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Wait, problem
I
child?
love Stay Tuned. Stay Tuned.
Problem Child as well, but stay tuned. Dude,
Yeah, so good. And I love the Wayne's World sequence and Hail Satan. And he's like, they have the board. They're like, what's this? And he's like, Hail? And they're like, what's this? Satin? And so I just, that's a great movie though. I love Stay Tuned. And of course, it's amazing. I feel like he's like one of my favorite characters in it.
Legend.
He was
Just a legend.
He was like if you ever read the book, he's perfect for older Ben.
Yeah, he's
Even
like
the way
the
he's
best
described in the book is very accurate to what he looks like in the
Yeah.
movie. But we're not going to stay on this.
Yeah. No, I'm sure we'll cover that. At
We
one
can go
point.
all day on John Ritter,
But,
but we don't
yeah.
have the time.
But John
does?
Ritter is the best. So he plays Police Chief Kincaid,
And he nails it.
And nails it. And he's kind of like this overprotective uncle. And I get the reference. I get it, Vince. He nails it.
Oh, good job.
No.
Good job.
Fuck you, Rory.
No, that's great. I'm processing.
That's good. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, as far as like the uncle goes, in my notes it goes, oh yes, the trope where the parental figure is vilified for not wanting their kid to date a scumbag.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, why?
I mean, did you see? I mean, first of all, Jesse, your tux.
He sucks.
I'm not like completely against Officer Kincaid.
They made a very specific choice.
He's just kind of like, I don't want you to be with this guy. And you're like, you look at Jesse and his life and where he's going. He's not wrong.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I was
Let's
like,
run away with $1,000 to start a new life.
it wasn't even $1,000.
It was-
It was like
it was
$500.
She's like, where'd you get all that money? I'm like, what? He probably tripped over it somewhere.
It was
it's not that much money, Jesse.
It was 500 with a promise for 500 more.
Right. But he's like, we could run away. We could get married.
Down
We'll get
payment
there.
for a house.
Yeah.
Buy a car. I'm like, what is it? You think this is the 20s?
Check the economy, bro. Like, real estate is down.
that scene like hit me right in the face. So like, yeah, John Ritter's not wrong.
Right. No, I actually like his character even in this when he's supposed to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's supposed to be the
Yeah,
antagonist.
no, he seems reasonable. He knows.
Yeah, he's just a reasonable parental figure.
The second that guy gets a little bit of money, he's like, let's run out of town and go get married. Like,
Yeah.
Put all of our eggs in one basket.
yes,
I know.
that's our future.
That's Jesse, man. That's freaking Jesse.
Jesse.
How he does.
Jesse's the villain of the movie.
Jesse is the antagonist of this whole movie.
Yeah.
So,
Fuck him.
yeah, Dave pretends to be Jade's date, and they get into the car and go to take off because the uncle kind of approves of them.
The uncle, he's just like grilling him.
Yeah.
And he's like, an athletic scholarship, right? He's hockey, figure skating.
Figure skating. Yeah.
Like,
all right.
he just
Yeah.
sees right through it.
Yeah. So the couple heads out for their, quote unquote date, and where we quickly learn, it's a facade, and Jade's real boyfriend pops out of the back seat, and they start making out, and his name is Jesse, and he asks if Warren bought into it. And so immediately they get pulled over by Needle Nose Norton. And
What a great character.
Yeah, he's like this cop, but also like a buddy to the chief, Chief Kincaid.
When
And
you
so-
see someone like that in a movie and you immediately don't like them, you're like, yeah, this guy belongs here.
yeah,
Yeah.
he has like a very like that face, like, oh yeah, this guy is a dick. Like,
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah,
We know what he's gonna be. We know what he's gonna do. We like
Right.
having him here.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do
It's
this
like,
thing.
You could tell this is probably
Yeah.
not the greatest guy. So, anyways, he pulls them over and they get busted. And
He's very excited about it too.
oh yeah,
He's
like
so happy.
And they're like, oh, does my uncle pay you? He's like, oh yeah,
Oh, a lot.
yeah, a
Or does
lot.
Not
he
only-
pay you extra? He's like, extra.
Extra. Yeah, extra.
As a matter of fact.
He does.
Meanwhile, Tiffany is trying to resurrect Chucky, with the Ande.
What is
it?
Due Dumbledore.
Ande
From Voodoo for
Due
Dummies.
Dumbledore. Yeah, with Voodoo for Dummies. I love that little
101?
joke.
Yes.
And so she's starting
And
the
it
ritual.
worked too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
And it kind of
but
makes
at
me
first
wonder.
she doesn't know it worked. Like
Yeah.
she thinks it didn't work.
Yeah.
So and then she receives a visit from this very Ginger
Damien.
Snaps Harold and Maude wannabe, which is played by the late great Alexis Arquette.
Alexa Arquette.
Alexa.
Alexa Arquette.
Yeah.
Yes.
During. Yes.
They appear in the movie.
Yeah, they appear in the movie, and
Which is really funny because his name is Damien,
Yeah.
right? But then later on, it's revealed that his real name is Howard Fitzwater.
Oh,
I know.
God.
I love it. I love that
That was
reveal.
one of my favorite parts. Yes.
Yeah. And Damien's like, yo, check it out. And he has like this photograph of what looks like a dead body and very Ginger Snaps of him. And she's like, wow. Tiffany is kind of like, that's so cool. And then she goes, wait a second. That nail polish looks familiar. And he's like, oh, come on. And then, because he's trying to, he's
didn't
like a
kill
poser.
anyone.
Yeah. She's like, you didn't kill anyone. Oh, you're so lame.
So lame.
Yeah. And so then we see where she notices that Chucky isn't in the place where she put him.
Yeah, she kind of looks at him on the bed and then turns back to where Chucky was, and Chucky is no longer there.
Yeah.
So-
and then she
In the
starts to
sacrifice circle? I don't know what that's called.
So, a couple weeks back, we did Slumber Party Massacre 2.
yes.
And I talked about how in movies, when your killer emerges, there's usually some kind of a buildup.
Yeah.
This is expert level shit.
Okay.
I
Yes.
love like the lead up to him actually like talking and you seeing him alive. They just
Yeah.
milk it perfectly.
Oh,
Because
it's
it's like she like
so
looks
good.
over and it's like he's gone and like the
Her-
chalk or whatever that is all
Yeah.
like kind of smudged and
Yes.
moving around. Like it's all just so
And
wonderfully handled.
there's also the thing where her character wants it. Like, in most of the things, they're afraid of it and they don't want it to happen, whereas she has this character trait where, like, no, I want this to happen. I want the evil. I want all of this. Everything that's about to happen, I want it.
Yes. And I love that, she kind of tricks Damien to get into the bed. And she's like, oh, I know how I'm going to get Chucky to, like,
Yeah.
show himself because I'm going to make him feel jealous.
Yeah.
And so she's like playing up to like seducing Damien, and he's all into it. Like Damien's like, yes, yeah.
And then she
all right.
finds the doll and yeah.
Yeah, and then she places it right on top of Damien's chest.
Facing her and not Damien.
Yes, and that whole reveal is just outstanding because she's like playing it up, and then he's talking shit about the doll and everything, and then as soon as he's like, oh, what's he gonna do with that little thing or whatever, and it's like, and his head creeps around
Like an owl.
yeah, just like The Exorcist, like kind of
the size, asshole.
yeah.
That's what you do with
It's
it.
what you do with it.
And then, yeah, he just rips his piercing out of his like mouth and like his face, and which is horrific. I remember
It's super bloody for a piercing to be ripped out. But
Yeah.
like I always say, about 20 minutes into all of these movies, I stop and I see where I'm at. It was about this time-ish, and I was like, I'm in on this. I know what this movie is. I'm going to have fun. I remember the Child's Play 2. I'm ready for a bunch of one-liners that are misogynistic. You cannot make these jokes in 2024, nor could you make them in 2022 or 2023, but they're going to be awesome. And I was in on it. All of it.
And I don't know. I feel like a lot of the humor in this is just it really
Playful.
Yeah, it's
playful,
playful.
and you know it's joking, and I loved it.
But it's also very accurate to who Charles Lee Ray is.
Yes, exactly.
He's
It's
not like I mean, he's not
a
saying
murderer.
anything that Charles Lee Ray wouldn't say, you know? I also love the fact that their very first conversation after like 10 years, it's this very soft, gentle conversation while a man is suffocating to death underneath them.
Yeah, so Chucky gets the pillow
Wait,
and puts
between
it...
the two of them, the
Chucky and Tiffany.
oh
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
They're
Yeah.
like talking for the first time in 10 years, and he's just kind of like, hi. And they're just kind of catching up a little bit. And then you just see Damien underneath.
Like
he's just like screaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chucky puts a pillow over his face and he sits right on top of the pillow as he's like suffocating.
Yeah.
And
Which he doesn't weigh enough to suffocate anyone. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah. And then we have where, you know, him and Tiffany share that moment and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry." You know, like, and it was just so good. I love how all of that like ends up playing out and stuff. So then Chucky and Tiffany kind of reminisce a little bit while things are looking promising between the two. He ends up pissing her off because she's like, "Oh, I found that ring." He's like, "Ah, yeah, that thing
ring?
is like worth like $5,000. Do you still have that? Because we can like."
Vivian Van Pelt.
Yeah.
Those are up top of his head.
And
With $5,000 easy.
easy,
He's
yeah.
such a scumbag.
I know, he's so great.
Which,
And
I love as a great example of like, there are certain times in your life when you get into a story or you're talking to something about something to your significant other, and at a certain point you realize, I should stop talking because I'm only going to make it worse if I go further. And this whole scene was like, just shut the fuck up, dude. Stop talking because you're making it worse. Everything you're saying from here on, just stop. What are you doing?
And it's just, I don't know, it's just great. You know who Chucky reminds me of? Chris Conforti. Right? Like, I feel like that's Chris in a nutshell. Like, you just will say something that's like totally like, you can tell is like not at the right time. You know what I mean?
Inappropriate.
Yeah, well, no, not so much like inappropriate,
Just
but
terrible
just,
timing.
Like, if like you were like, oh, I'm grieving or something, and then he would just go on about like, you know, the Patriots are like whatever, and he would just go into like some spiel about something.
I just lost my husband.
Yeah. But yeah, in that moment, it just, I don't know, reminded me of Chris for some reason. But eventually she gets angry and she throws him into like this little crib and puts like a top over it. How did you feel about that crib? Was that like
I felt he could have got
young
out of there.
Vince favorite crib?
Yeah.
Is it is it anything like yours? Is what he's asking.
It is. No, mine is way harder to break out of. Like, this thing's made of wood. Had you given me like a rope or something like that, I could have got out of that, no problem. Mine at home.
His parents put him in a crate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Like a dog. Like a sweet little dog. No. The crate at home is a lot harder to get out of. So, like, when I saw this, I was like, I can get out of that, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next day, we see where Tiffany's struggling. She has like Damien in a trunk, and she's like trying to carry it out. And
Super heavy. There's a body in there.
yeah, that's super heavy. Its whole body's like stuffed into this box. And then she's like, "Hey, Jesse." We find out that her and Jesse are neighbors. And she's like, can you pick this up and put it in there for me? And he's like, oh, sure. And then she kind of like even like flirts with him a little bit.
Yeah,
and
Jessie
stuff.
will do anything she asks her to do. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Well, I think she's like flirting with him because deep down, I think she wants like a nice guy,
A wholesome.
guy.
Yeah.
She wants
A nice
the
wholesome
good
boy.
guy, not the Chucky.
Yep.
No, she doesn't.
There's a pun in there, Vince.
Oh.
There's a,
Good
Wait.
guy doll. She wants a good guy.
she wants a good guy.
And
Yeah.
Wait, would I have gotten that
Well, okay.
reference had I watched
So-
the first movie?
Oh,
No, just
you
this
watch
one.
the second one.
No, but I think that she wants a guy like Jesse, but she's
Yeah.
so consumed by what she is that would never be able to maintain a relationship with somebody who is quote unquote pure
Right.
like that, you know.
Yeah.
Although one thing about Jesse, at this point while watching the movie, I was looking at Nick Stable. Is that his name?
Jesse?
Yeah,
I guess so.
in real
Yeah,
life?
I'm not sure.
I'm looking at, we'll just say Nick Stable, because who cares? I'm like, is he a soap opera actor? I looked him up. He's on all of them.
All of them?
Because Jesse has soap opera acting. He's got a
Yes.
soap opera face. He's
Yeah.
got a soap opera body.
No, I totally agree. There's different levels of acting. You could tell, like, you know, some is for television, some is for soaps.
General
And then-
Hospital.
Yeah, he was on there. I looked him up. He's on Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our
Yeah,
Lives. One Life to Live.
probably.
Okay.
By the way, I watched the
Murder,
new
She Wrote?
TED TV show.
Is it good?
It's good.
Yeah,
I actually
love it.
did. You watch
I
it?
did. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah. I love the whole genital hospital thing.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. And the 400 blows joke.
Yeah.
I just explained to Casey Clocker because I was like, yo, dude, I watched TED, and it's actually really funny. And I was like, there was this moment where they did the 400 blows joke. And the other day I was explaining TED, and I was trying to explain the joke to my coworkers. Like, oh, yeah, so the cousin Rince, the 400 blows, are watching it. And it turns out, you know, it's just like a French film. And no one laughed, and I'm like, oh, this is my Annie Hall moment.
See, now that was weird because when I saw that episode,
I laughed
lost it.
so
Yeah.
hard, dude. When
'Cause it's
they're
like
like,
you-
the 400 blows, hell yeah.
Yeah, like if you know what that movie is, because
Right.
hey, get ready to take a shot, guys. I have the criterion for the 400 blows.
Me too.
And that was one of the very first ones I ever got. And I love that movie. So I've seen it a couple times, you know.
Yeah.
And as soon as it came on the television, I just started laughing. But we're not
Yeah.
gonna talk about the.
Oh yeah,
400
yeah,
blows.
yeah. Sorry, but no, it's just
Sidetrack. We're back on.
sidetrack. Yeah, to I don't even know how we got there, but anyways, long story short,
No,
Tiffany.
no, no. Go back and explain how we got there.
I don't
That's good.
I don't remember. No, so Tiffany goes back in and she starts to tease Chucky by bringing up how he's like, oh, you're just like a goofy little doll, you know, and
Does he always hate being referred to as a doll throughout the entire
I don't think so.
saga? No, he doesn't.
No.
Does he accept it at some point?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does. Cool.
Yeah, in the very next movie, he
I
has
like
a
that.
moment to leave the body, and he's just like,
Nah, fuck
he's
him.
like, I don't ever have to get old. He's
No.
like, I can live forever. He's like, because it turns into this thing where like Tiffany and Chucky have children, right? Or like a child who's both, you know, Glenn or Glinda. But there's a moment where it's like he can get into somebody's body, and he's just kind of like, I don't want this.
Okay.
I just want to be the Chucky, the infamous serial killer doll. And you're like, that's awesome. He had an arc.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I like him more now, knowing that.
Yeah,
not even
like
seeing
his
that
character actually grows.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty incredible. And I do like later on the reference. I was like, you would have to watch like 3 other movies to
Yeah.
like really
Take
catch up.
3 or 4 sequels to do it justice.
Yeah. So Tiffany is teasing him, and then later that night she's in the bathtub, and Chucky breaks out using the ring, and so
Which is
she's-
not easy to do, to chip away at a piece of wood like that with a
Yeah.
ring. No, hell no. That takes dedication and time.
Yeah, and it's so cool because she's watching Bride of Frankenstein.
I love that.
And-
Thank you again. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for making me watch that first before I watched this, because all these references I got and I thought it was fantastic, and it made me enjoy this movie even more than I thought I would have.
In my notes, it says, we should cover Bride of Franken... Oh.
But I love it's the scene when the bride is coming alive, right? So
Yes.
We see, Henry's like, she's alive.
Alive.
Bride of Frankenstein.
And then as soon as that happens,
Frankenstein.
Chucky kicks the thing, killing. So I love that like little
Yeah.
weird. It's
The
alive,
timing of
alive,
that?
and then she dies
Yeah.
immediately. So and I'm such a fan of this movie. Especially that scene and how it plays out. She gets electrocuted and stuff, and the puppeteering in this film again is just like unbelievable. Like because he's just like standing there watching her like die, and then he ends up performing the ritual on her, like transferring her into like a doll body.
Yeah.
And just like you're watching this and it feels like Chucky's a real like living thing.
Yeah.
And never in my
And he's
mind is
making
like,
all of this
oh,
happen.
this is all puppeteering.
Yeah.
Like it literally plays out and you're just like, you buy into everything that's going on. It's so good. But so he resurrects Tiffany, and she briefly freaks out about her doll form, but Chucky quickly gets her on board and pitches the idea to go get the heart of the Damballa, and says to Tiffany, like, I have this amulet and we should get out of these bodies.
She's unhappy about being in that body, and he's like, I got a way to get out of this.
Yeah.
But we have to go find the amulet.
The night I died, I was wearing like the amulet. Let's go get it.
This was the first time in a movie that I ever was faced with a retcon.
Yes, yeah.
I think that also threw me through a loop a little bit when I was a kid. First time I saw this, I'm like, that wasn't on his neck.
That's not true.
I saw the first movie.
Yeah.
Don't bullshit
God,
me.
I'm dying. Yeah.
It also wigged me out a little bit, too, that there's not the urgency anymore of getting into the body before you become human.
Right.
They kind of just like throw that out the window, which I still think is a little bit of a mistake, because it always did feel like Chucky had like agency. Like they had to like really like, get out of that body before he
A
became
sense of
human.
urgency
Yeah.
throughout the entire movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like then they just kind of were like, no, we're not going to do that anymore. And I remember that also kind of bugging me. But again, I'm an adult now and I don't care about that crap.
Yeah.
You do.
I do secretly.
So he pitches the idea to go to New Jersey, Hackensack, and dig up his body and get the amulet, and then they could transfer out of the bodies. So she calls Jesse, her neighbor, to drive the dolls to Hackensack, and she will pay him $500 if he does it, and then another $500 when he gets there.
Yeah. Just a
ton of money.
so
Life changing.
he can restart his life.
He's thinking about
Right.
retirement looking at that lot of money.
And so Jesse
$500? Really?
agrees to it, and so he goes to pick up Jade. Well, first he calls, like, he goes to Jade and he's like, listen, I got this money and we could like run away, we could do all this stuff, you could go to school, I could work, we could buy a house, and
He
he's
could
For
do
your
none of
college, buy a house, buy a car,
yeah,
He could do none
and
of those
still
things.
have so much left over.
and with $500 I guess you could
Sure.
get, I don't know,
Might cover the gas to
Yeah.
New Jersey.
but she agrees.
Inflation.
Yeah, she agrees, and they run inside into the house, Jade's house, to pack her stuff up. Meanwhile, John Ritter kind of overhears everything, and he's hiding behind Jesse's very a weird-looking van.
Rapey
Yes.
van.
Rapey.
Yeah, and so
It has puppies written on the side, right? Puppies and free candy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one thing that was
Free
weird. It's
puppies and candy.
like free candy, inquire inside.
yeah. So John Ritter's trying to, break into the van, and eventually, and he wants to plant a little bag of weed in there. So
that wasn't
way,
a little bag. Trust me, I know. I've seen bags before. That was not a little bag.
It was
But
like
anyway,
a gallon bag, but it was like only like a you
I
know.
mean, a quarter, maybe
Yeah.
maybe a half. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyways.
I don't know my weight.
There's probably nothing left in that evidence locker.
No.
These cops are picking it clean.
They're all taking stuff. And so he goes to grab like a crowbar to break in. Meanwhile, Chucky's like, oh, we got to get rid of this guy, right? And then this is when Tiffany's like, we have to improvise like Martha Stewart. He's like, who the fuck is Martha Stewart?
The most perfectly delivered line.
And
which is also a sign of the times.
yes, yeah. And so he...
My idol.
She's my idol. So she comes up with this really interesting thing because she sees a jar of nails.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Nailed it.
so nailed it. And so John Ritter, he breaks in and he hears like something laughing. Because originally he's going to throw it into like the trunk that's in the back. And he hears something laughing and he's like, oh, so he goes up and he sees like the two dolls. And then he notices in the dashboard, like, the airbag's kind of out.
Yeah.
And she's like, now. And then Chucky cuts the line.
They've essentially built a claymore. I don't know if you know what a claymore is, but
Yes.
it's an explosive device. And back in World War II, on a claymore it says, "Point towards enemy."
Yes.
Aim away from face.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. Don't point this at yourself.
So the nails all like explode and go right into his face.
And you get the great line.
Yeah. That looks familiar.
Yeah.
Why
looks
does that
familiar.
look so familiar?
And again, I love you guys because I would not have gotten that reference had it not been for,
Hellbound
Yeah.
Hellraiser
Hellraiser.
2?
Yeah.
Sup, Snake? Jake Kelly.
Yeah. So Jesse
Maker of the lunchbox.
Maker of the lunchboxes.
So Jesse and Jade return to take off, but they get to like this rest stop. Well, not like a rest stop, just like a mart where everyone just hangs out.
Yeah.
Like not
I had
inside.
questions about that.
Yeah, what
It
is
was-
that place?
It was the gas station from Silent Night where that guy stopped in, where Santa stopped in to
Yeah.
grab. That was the one. But anyway, go
That's
ahead.
it. Yeah. No, what's your question about it?
Just what is that place?
Yeah, what is it's like a Sheetz, but it's not a Sheetz. It's like a mart where you could get groceries, but it's like a bunch
like-
of teenagers are hanging out there.
Ronnie Yu, he's like an Asian filmmaker.
Yes.
So maybe he just thinks this is what American kids do. They hang out in front of the supermarket.
Possibly.
And you know what? It's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I'm not being snarky.
Right.
Maybe he was just kind of like, where do kids hang out? I don't know, in front of a store.
I mean,
Yeah.
to
In
be
case they need
fair,
batteries.
Right.
high school kids do hang out at Sheetz. Like they drive their cars there, and like the kids that have like cool cars, they hang out at Sheetz.
They look
It's so
like
funny.
it reminds me of like what I think they were aiming for was like a 1950s malt shop.
Yeah.
Dude,
like
that's
olive
literally
grease.
Sheetz nowadays.
It reminded me of like American Graffiti.
Oh my
Look
god!
at that.
We all
There you
have
go.
the same reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, we're on the
Yeah.
same page.
Yeah.
Freakquels.
All right, let's fucking end the episode now. All right, guys.
Going home.
So they get pulled over, and he parks at this rest stop, little Sheets kind of thing, and he immediately is like looking, for the weed and stuff, and
Needle nose. Needle dick?
Needle
dick.
Nose is the
Needle
one that
Nose.
pulls over.
Needle dick nose. Got it.
Norton.
Yeah. That guy.
So, he's like looking around, and then he sees the dolls, and he's like, "Oh, gross." And then Chucky notices he's about to open the trunk where Kincaid is hidden.
Yes.
Right. And so
Pinhead is in. Yeah.
yeah. So Chucky actually throws the weed to the side, and then
He
the
finds it.
officer's like, "Oh,
Oh, there it
hey,
is.
check this out." So meanwhile, Jessie goes into the grocery store, and she comes out with groceries, and Jessie, the officer's giving Jessie a hard time.
The sequence of events that are about to happen are fucking mind-boggling to me. Like the next 5 minutes in this movie, I
Yes.
loved. It was so extreme and so unnecessary. I loved it.
Before we pummel through what happens, I just want to say,
Through.
watching Chucky smoke pot, I didn't know that I needed that until I saw it.
It's one of those things that. So the first time you watched it, you were like, meh, and now that you're older, you're like, Yeah.
You're just kind of like,
I get it.
like that is exactly how I think Charles Lee Ray would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a character.
And it's so
Like he sees
interesting-
pot, he's like, "Oh, I haven't smoked pot."
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
get into
Died.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Make it
I
happen.
love the sequence too where it shows like the hand grabbing it and then it's like tucking it into the
Yeah, it's
overalls.
great.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Adorable too.
Yeah. But yeah, so
When he's like crawling towards Needle Nose's car,
yes.
you see like his butt wiggling back and
Yeah,
forth,
he's
and I'm
just
like,
like-
that's adorable.
and then he like to like the one guy in his car.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what a weird thing for you to notice. But
I just
anyway,
thought
keep
it was
going.
cute.
EJ, let's keep going.
Yeah, so Needle Nose, he goes to his car to like call in, Jesse's van and stuff, which is like such an obvious looking van. It's
Yeah.
like a one of a kind van. It has like a eagle on the side.
Yeah.
And it's like, who's the boss?
Hey, I'm
Blue?
calling in a 1989 Ford Eco. It's got a giant fucking eagle on the side of
Yeah.
it, guys.
Can't miss it.
Yeah.
So,
Did they rinse and reuse that for Freddy vs. Jason? Because it's the same
That's-
director.
yeah, you know what? That's what I was like thinking. I'm like, Jason Ritter, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
son of
John Ritter, drove almost like an
the
identical.
van.
Yeah,
and it has
I
like the
wonder if it
lights on
is.
the inside stuff. I don't know. We'll talk about
Callback?
that.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing you guys are going to look
Well,
up?
Ronnie Yu, who directed Bride Chucky, also directed Freddy vs. Jason. So that van, I'm fairly certain, is the same van that's in Freddy vs. Jason. So we'll get there.
You fucking nerds.
I'm
Okay,
Fucking
keep going.
nerds.
Okay.
I know. But it's so funny you said that because I was like,
Bride Chucky is also in Freddy vs. Jason.
Sam Raimi uses a Delta 88 Oldsmobile in every single one of his movies.
in the Spider-Man movie.
So anyways, we have where he's calling it in, and when Chucky's like, "I'll be right back," and he crawls away, and he's like crawling, and he's like, "I have a plan. I'm gonna improvise." So we see Chucky, and he's crawling across the ground. He's like wiggling around, and he flips off the guy that's stoned in the car. He's like, "Whoa."
Rude fucking doll.
Rude fucking doll, man. And then he like Chucky makes like this weird explosive that ends up he like lights like a thing and puts it in the gas tank.
So that's essentially a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
But there's like he didn't do it properly because you're supposed to essentially take a wick, shove it into the gas can and pull it out so there's a little bit of gas on it, and then flip it around and then put the rest of it in so you can light the wick, and then the gas goes as you light the flame goes down into the tank and then it explodes. But anyway, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so then he
Not that
does-
I have vast knowledge of
Yeah.
that.
So he does that, and then the explosion goes off, and Jesse's like, "Oh my god, let's go!" And so she runs.
All of this at a
Jesse
Sheetz,
and Jade,
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everyone is just like freaking out. They're like, like all screaming.
Yeah.
So Jesse and Jade get in the van, and Jade's like, "We gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go," and so they take off, and that's when they start to argue, and they think that each other, like, they're kind of like blaming each other.
Each one thinks that the other one did what just happened.
Right.
So, folks, imagine you're at a Sheetz and a fucking car explodes, and then you got to get out of there.
Yeah, and then they get a call from David, who kind of fills them in on Jade's uncle that's missing. He's like, "Your uncle is missing,"
Yeah.
and
It's like the time frame
right.
of him dropping off the pot, being killed, and driving to the gas station, malt shop, convenience store, wherever
Sheetz.
they were.
Yeah.
I guess he went missing and like he didn't check in like 20 minutes.
10 minutes, 20 minutes, yeah.
Kind of weird.
Oh no, there's another weird time frame in this too. So then, he also brings out about the lighter of the dead cop, being the thing that was found at the crime scene of Norton. So the lighter that Tiffany took
Officer
from the beginning,
Bailey.
Officer Bailey, his lighter was found at the crime scene of Norton's death, and that's the thing Chucky used to kill Norton. So tying it into like now 2 dead cops.
EJ, I'm tired. I'm going
That's
back
okay.
to my closet.
All right. Thank you, Matthew.
Don't forget to plug my Popeyes.
I will remember.
My chicken Popeye.
Yeah.
Grave diggers. No grave diggers.
Gravy diggers. Yeah.
All right, where's my sleeping cap?
Do you have your candle? Is your candle lit?
Yes.
Do you have your slippers?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want cocoa or do you want a warm glass of milk?
Chamomile.
Chamomile tea? Okay.
I'll bring you some nice mustard packets.
And try to keep it down.
Love you, buddy. Be careful. Love you, man. But so Jesse and Jade, they stop at a chapel, and they, after arguing and thinking one of them killed Needle Nose, they stop at a chapel and they get married.
Begrudgingly so.
Yes. And in the van, we get to see that cool moment with Chucky rocking out to White Zombie.
Which is another one of my favorite moments in the movie.
When, great
It's like the music
puppeteering
scene
again.
sure gone to shits inside die.
Yeah. And so while Chucky apologizes to Tiffany, we see Chief Kincaid bust out of the chest where Chucky finishes him off for good, stabbing him like 6 or 7 times. And
True classic never goes out of style.
And so in the hotel suite, Jesse and Jade, they see that they're on the news. They're at large. And
I love that in any movie when people are at large and they pop up on the TV and they quickly have to change the channel or distract someone. I love that in any movie that it's in.
Yeah, it's great suspense.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, so they see that they're, kind of in the want for the murders of now at least 2 police officers.
Which is really fast, by the way, considering how quickly they get to the hotel and when the fire at the Sheets happens,
Right.
the explosion, they're on the news right away,
Yeah.
in no time.
Well, that's because some girl runs out and says, "There they are! They did it!"
Yeah.
And the criminal justice system was like, "Good enough for us."
Good enough.
There's literally nothing that I can think of that links it to them.
No, that was my
They
point.
ran
of,
away in a panic like everyone else
Yeah,
did.
and how they have them as their lead suspects, I don't get that. But anyway.
Even to the point that they find the lighter and it has Charles Lee Ray's fingerprints on it.
Yeah.
So their only evidence that they have has the fingerprints
of someone
a
else.
completely different criminal.
Right.
So why are they the criminals? I don't
All right,
understand
let's
it.
not wrap ourselves around the logic.
Yeah,
here.
I just
Keep-
think
oh,
it's
yeah.
probably plot purposes, but that's fine.
That's okay. We're good with that.
Yeah. So then another couple barges in, and they're like, "Oh, we thought we had the suite. Sorry about that." And the girl actually grabs Jesse's wallet filled with so much $500.
There was $425 in there.
At
They
least.
spent at least $20 on groceries.
Yeah. Unused, and who knows how much the chapel room cost.
Yeah, so they're looking at $100.
Yes.
Minimum.
So they rob, Jesse and Jade.
And I like the foresight of Chucky knowing that, hey, they just stole $300. These people are fucked.
Yeah.
I have to do something to help save them because they had $300 in that wallet and it's all gone. I don't know
Right.
how we're going to get to where we need to go.
I like how at one point it sort of switches where Chucky and Tiffany are the good guys because those 2 people steal Jesse and Jade's money and then they go in to get it back and to punish the bad guys.
To punish them, but I also don't feel like they're not the good guys. They're still terrible, but they know that in order to further our thing to get to the bodies that we need to get to, we don't care. We'll kill these people if we have to.
And in a sense, they're almost
Oh, cool.
courting each other.
Yeah. Oh, we get to do this?
showing off on a playground.
Yeah.
Oh, look what I did. Oh,
we
look
get
what
to do
I'm
this.
doing.
We get to kill
Oh, how
people.
about
Yeah.
this?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're flirting in their own demented way.
I like it.
And so we see, they're counting up the cash and smooching, and that's when Tiffany sneaks in and does that whole, smashing the glass. And she throws a bottle of wine into the glass and it falls down onto the couple, and you just see blood and water from the waterbed just going everywhere, and you just see the stream rush up onto Chucky's feet.
Wait, was it a waterbed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And so it's like blood and water all mixed in, and it like rushes to his feet, and he's just like has this awesome look on his face where he's just in awe, and he's just like, I love you, and it's such a great moment. But yeah, so then
a really nice score playing too.
Yeah,
it was like a really was it Graham Revell? Is that his name?
I think so. I'm not
sure.
Well,
that's the person who composed it. I like the score a lot in this movie.
Yes.
Score was good. Soundtrack. Did we talk about the soundtrack in this one? No, we talked about
the soundtrack's great in this too.
Hey, Rob Zombie.
Who'd have thought? He had a couple.
Who'd have thought
he'd
be good in horror movies?
Hey, screw that. I got Monster Magnet.
Oh, yeah. So we have this moment where Chucky is in like absolute love of what Tiffany just did. He's like, marry me, Tiff. And so they exchange, like he puts a ring on the finger.
I really like how something so small makes him be like, we have to get married. I have to spend the rest of my life with you. This little thing that you did, it's enveloped me, and I need to spend the rest of my life with you.
Like that's how he connects with her.
Yeah,
is through murder.
I get that.
Yeah,
I feel that. It's
he's not interested in being domesticated. He's like into being like a wild animal with her.
And it's also the little things in life. Like, you know what your partner likes. You know what makes them happy, and you're saving that for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then they start to get it on. And it's actually really funny. We kind of see the silhouettes like going at it. And
we are 1 hour and 34 minutes in, and we're finally where I want to be. Let's talk about puppeteering. Imagine.
Well, let me say it to you more accurately.
Please.
It's shadow puppets, literally.
Shadow puppets. Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Come on, that was clever.
That was good.
Thank you.
I like it.
All right, assholes. Now I want you to wrap your head around this. Okay, so you've gone to school or you've done things in the industry where you've become a puppeteering master. Okay.
Yeah.
And a director asks you, "Hey, I have the scene in mind. Can you do it?" And you do it so tastefully, and you do it to perfection, where people don't realize, hey, this is a bunch of puppets having sex, but it's more beautiful than that. It's something that takes over you, and you realize this is art. Okay, this is no longer a horror movie or something like that. This is something that really is going to speak to you later on.
Weird.
This is sexual.
Hey, it's who I am, guys. Don't judge me.
So the next day.
Wait, one last little thing I want to tag on.
Yeah.
To the.
Hey guys, thank you for fucking blowing right over that. Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead. Fucking.
The Motel Suites, is that what it's called? Right before that lady steals the wallet.
Yes.
Right. She picks up Chucky, and she says something like. She's like, well, this one has a face only a mother could love. And then he responds with, hi, my name is Chucky, and I wouldn't talk if I were you. and that fucking killed me last night. But
that was so good. No, I forgot about that. That was great.
A lot of good one-liners.
So the next day, Jade calls David thinking Jesse did it, right? Like, might have killed everyone.
I just want to confirm with both of you. We're going to skip over the puppet sex scene, and we're going to go right next. Okay, keep going. All right, fine.
What else would you like to tag on about?
Yeah, is there...
I mean, I thought there was going to be Team America references. I thought there was going to be more to this. But the fact that you guys made me watch a movie with a puppet sex scene, and you don't have anything to fucking say about it?
No,
that's it.
I think we covered it.
I know
really well.
It kind of speaks for itself in a lot of ways.
Okay, no.
I mean,
then I'll just say this: this is normal for you. A puppet sex scene in a movie is normal for you, and we're just going to blaze past it. Okay, fine. Keep going.
I mean, if you want to stay on this subject...
I don't.
Man, you got something you got to get off your chest.
I don't, but I thought we would talk more about it than just skipping right over. But okay,
is that literally a notebook filled with notes about this puppet sex scene?
There was more I
There's
wanted to get
drawings
into.
in there.
What do
Is
you
that
think?
like you were hoping for different positions?
Yeah.
You've got.
What do you think if they did this?
I don't know what that is. What is that?
If you look at it long enough, you'll figure. Okay, how about this one?
Oh.
Wow. That one's called Pumping Puppets?
Okay, hold on. This one is dark.
Okay. Now that's okay. I see what you're saying.
You're a disturbed guy.
Yeah, I would not show this to other people. I would
Hide
just,
that from your children.
Yeah. You're a dad?
Of 2 children.
Oh
2
my
kids.
God.
2 of them.
Hey, I'll
Two,
say
yeah.
this about the shadow puppet sex. They were dolls, and they were making love. And,
Making love. Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's what happens with dolls when they get to a certain point in their lives where they grow up and they start having feelings for each other.
You see, when one doll meets another doll and they fall in love, they have this journey together that they take, and it leads to them becoming one.
See,
Right.
we're trying to dispel a myth to you. Dolls are not actually made in a factory. They have sex, and then other little dolls are born from it.
Yep.
Are you learning something?
Vince, is this a teachable moment for you?
I've learned something today. I
Good.
thought cats laid eggs, but they don't.
Well, that is
They
a little
don't?
off topic, but that's okay.
That's
I know
alright.
this is a lot of information for you, young Vince.
It's good. I like that.
Yeah.
That was good for me.
Now,
I don't know
the
if you
one
got-
thing I will say about this whole thing is that if you are a puppet and you're listening to this podcast right now, and you do in fact sleep with another puppet, you best call that puppet in the morning and maybe give her some cab fare.
Yeah.
You be
Her?
respectable.
Yeah. That's right, man. Just treat that American doll right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am sick.
American doll.
I am sick of dolls impregnating other dolls and just
Leaving.
leaving.
Right. You
Like
know how
that last Toy Story movie was bizarre.
Right. I thought Woody getting pregnant was a weird twist.
It was very strange,
Yeah.
you know?
That's what happens when you get M. Night Shyamalan to direct a Toy Story movie.
I don't know. Did he?
Yeah,
Oh.
last one.
I didn't know that. Did you know that about M. Night?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He's got a whole library of dolls having sex with each other movies.
All right, Frequents, just so you know, it is 12 a.m. officially.
Okay, let's
Okay,
keep
we've
going.
been recording since God only knows how long.
Yeah.
That was magic for me. I
Oh.
loved that. You didn't think I loved it, but I loved it.
Okay.
To quote Rocky, gonna fly now.
Gotta fly. So, the next day, Jade calls David, thinking Jesse did it, and she is asking David what she should do. So, the call gets interrupted, and it's Jesse calling David now, who thinks Jade is causing all this havoc, right? He's like, I think it's her, man. Like, I don't know. I think she's the one that killed the Needle Dick and or what's his name? Needle
Nose. No, Needle Dick. Got it. Nailed
Yeah.
it. Crushing it.
So we then get a quick cameo from Kathy Najimy from
Oh, the
Hocus
how-
Pocus.
I was gonna say from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah,
Mary.
which is also another film produced by David Kirshner, who produced this. And so the maid finds the couple dead and starts screaming. So both Jesse and Jade like run into the room and they see, all this carnage. And they
It's a
quickly
lot.
grab the dolls and they run to the van. And they both kind of confess that they're scared of each other. And out pops David in record timing.
Perfect.
Yeah, literally was home just a few seconds ago, and now in the back of their van, which leads me to believe that Jesse just drove in circles for at least 10 minutes away from where Jade lived. So realistically, the cops are even more incompetent than I thought. Because not only are Jesse and Jade driving around in a super easily identifiable van, but also in the area. Did you guys think about that too?
Yes.
Okay. because
How did
I
he
wrote
get there?
all of that.
How did he get there?
Right.
Yeah,
He was
shouldn't be there.
literally just on the phone.
Yeah, and now he's in the
And
van.
yeah, he's just in the back of the van.
Where does the movie start? Like, where are they when the movie starts? Are they supposed to be in Jersey?
No, they said Niagara. Remember, he's like, yeah, the
Yeah, but
Niagara.
like, where did they start in the movie? Who knows?
I don't even know.
Who needs a house up in Hackensack? Is that all you get for your money? Neither of you get that?
Is that a Billy Joel
Oh,
reference?
there it is. There it is. Thank you.
How to attack?
You
Right?
love Billy Joel, don't you? I know.
You ought to know by now.
You ought to know by now. No, so anyways, we have where David just shows up, in the back of the van, and he's like, "Hey guys, I got a call from you, and then I got a
perfect
call
timing.
from you."
Yeah.
And he's trying to convince them that it's all a misunderstanding, and he starts to complain about a smell. He's like, "No, there's a weird smell in here, right, guys?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "No, but for real, there's like this weird smell." And he's like, "I don't think you guys did it because both seem so convinced."
Yeah. Both think that each other is the killer.
He's like, "And plus your uncle's still missing."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "But seriously, what's the smell?" So he opens the trunk, and then he sees the dead body
Pinhead.
of the uncle. And they don't know this. They're like, "Oh, you're..." Jesse's acting in this, by the way, is like... because he's like, "You're so smart, David. Thank you for always coming up with the right ideas." And it's just so lame. And then
the
meanwhile,
best,
David's
bro.
like freaking out, and he grabs the gun. He's like, pull over right now." And so they pull over, and he hops out at the back, and he's trying to like wave down a police officer, and they're on like this busy highway.
I was going to say, he's on a freeway. Not
Yeah.
a highway, a freeway.
freeway,
There's
yeah.
4 lanes of traffic when he pulls over. And when he gets out of the car, he's pointing the gun at these people. And I don't know why, but he veers his way into traffic.
Yeah, I know. And then he freaks out because he sees the dolls are alive.
They're alive, yes.
And so he's like, and he like startles, and he walks out, and he just gets hit by a huge semi-truck and explodes immediately on impact.
The correct term is obliterated. Obliterated.
Yes.
He walks into traffic and is hit by like a semi or something like that, and he is in pieces by the end of the scene.
And
Like
so,
a dust.
yeah,
Like a mist.
yes.
Like a
it's
pink
just-
mist. Yes. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
And so Chucky and Tiffany...
If I go, that's the way I want to go.
A pink mist. Wait, is that
It's
from
not the
Repo
first time
Man?
you've said that.
Is that from... Oh, no, a pink mist. What is that from? Is that
I'll
Repo
wait.
Man?
I know what it's from, but I'm
Is
not
it
going to
Repo
tell
Man,
you.
right?
Nope. Keep going.
Oh,
There it is.
Totally Killer.
There he's
Yeah,
got
I was
it.
like, what? I just heard that recently. What is that
I didn't do
from?
that for you. I did that for the listeners. But anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So, Chucky and Tiffany lay out their plans of using the amulet to transfer their souls into the newlyweds of Jade and Jesse. And then they all hear a report about Jesse and Jade, and that they're planning to excavate Charles Lee Ray's body, like dig it up, check it for DNA and stuff.
And look for the amulet, right? They're looking for the amulet at that point, right?
Right, but no, this is a police report on the radio.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, we found DNA on the lighter of Charles Lee Ray. We're gonna dig up the body now and just like make sure."
We found a little bit of DNA on a
Yeah.
lighter, so let's dig up a body.
Can I ask you a
Got it.
question?
Go ahead.
So, they need to go get an amulet to do this spell,
Yeah.
but Chucky used the spell at the beginning of the movie without an amulet.
Stop. Shh.
Stop.
Stop
Oh,
it.
sorry.
That's a spoiler alert.
What are you
man.
doing?
Is that...
Stop. No,
No.
it doesn't matter.
No, because even in the first movie, he didn't need an amulet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Stop. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Sorry,
Stop it.
guys.
Stop.
Yeah,
stop.
no, it's okay.
I'm sorry. I'll stop like poking holes into this killer doll movie.
Right. So Jesse and Jade initiate a fight between Chucky and Tiffany over doing the dishes and stuff, which leads to Jade kicking Tiffany into the oven and Chucky causing the Winnebago to crash. Because at one point they're like, "We got to get rid of this van." Like Chucky actually finally comes out. He's like, "Oh, this is like wanted. We should get rid of this van." so they steal a Winnebago, and we see where Tiffany, at one point, she opens the closet, and she's like, oh, excuse me, and this old couple are in there dead.
Dead, of course.
Their whole like domestication scene.
I love it.
I wish that was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that was the movie.
You just want an hour of them hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. I want that too.
Swedish meatballs like you, babe.
No, honestly, just them arguing over like arbitrary shit would have been
Bills.
great.
But like still in the dolls.
Yeah, still in the dolls. Wait, you spent $400 on Visa? What did you spend? What did you buy at Target for $300?
Funny, like you see like Chucky like wearing like little coveralls going to work in the factory.
Just exhausted,
He has, like,
coming
a little
home.
lunch pail.
Yeah, he comes home.
This is,
He's like,
honey, I'm home.
the boss was riding me, so I cut his throat.
What a dick. Yeah, no,
I got
so
promoted because there was no more workers left.
you have like a perfect Chucky voice.
Huh?
You do. You got a little bit of that.
Yeah, like your impression is like so good.
It's almost like he's seen it so many times that he has it.
Yeah, it's spot on. But yeah, so Chucky takes a shot at her, but that's when Jesse like turns and the Winnebago crashes, and Chucky ends up getting Jade, and he holds her by gunpoint, and he's like, "Come on, let's go," because like the cemetery is like right up the road, so they start to make their way there. Meanwhile, Jesse grabs a very burnt Tiffany, like just right
Crispy.
by the very
Crispy as hell. Yeah.
and it's such a cool look for the doll.
Yeah.
Too. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because the movie starts with showing the Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes.
So then by the end of the movie, she's kind of like walking like her hair's kind of more
Like frayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's starting to kind of move a little bit more like the bride. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like really leaning in to its source material.
Yes.
We
yeah.
didn't mention it, but I loved the makeover of her turning herself from the just normal doll into the bride of Chucky doll.
Oh, yeah.
With
Yeah.
the makeup
It's
and all
awesome.
that stuff. I thought it was adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Oh,
fit
yeah.
the movie perfect.
And so
I hope we don't wake Matt up in the closet.
yeah. So they try to catch up to Jade and Chucky. Now, at the gravesite of Charles Lee Ray, Chucky gets the amulet, and Jesse and Chucky kind of do this trade-off for their girls, you know? And Chucky ends up, he like stabs Jesse. He throws like his knife into the back of Jesse, which I was like, yes, finally.
Yeah.
I was
The
like,
bad guy's gone.
yeah. And then he begins the ritual, and Tiffany gets a change of heart and actually stabs Chucky.
I like when Tiffany looks at Chucky and she's like, I love you, Chucky. I know.
I know. Yeah. You're not telling me anything new. Yeah.
That's how he would respond.
So then, she gets this change of heart, and then Tiffany uses the Frankenstein monster logic from Bride of Frankenstein. She's like, "We belong dead," and I do love that, and you could tell.
I like. She literally says that, right?
Right, she
Yeah.
literally says that, yeah, and which is like what the monster says in
Yeah.
Bride, and so
We belong dead.
and after putting a good fight,
I need assistance from the government.
On welfare.
Tiffany ends up dying, and Jade shoots Chucky to death. She grabs like the gun, and she's like boom, 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 and like shoots. He falls into the grave, and she just like shoots him like 20 times.
Dying is such a bitch.
Yeah, I love that too. He's like, I'll come back. I always come back. But
Dying is such a
bitch. And then
Wait, time out. That was fucking perfect because you were both in sync on that.
that's what we do, man.
Whoever edits this, can you replay that again? Just do this and then wait and then play it again because it was so good. You guys,
Thank you.
literally you had it line for line. It was beautiful.
Well, we've been more in sync ever since we started kissing.
Yep. And that's how we roll, man.
Yeah.
So luckily, a detective witnesses the whole ordeal, like the ending. He like witnesses that Chucky was alive and he was like the murderer doll, and
By the
And-
way, I like those overhead shots of like Chucky and Tiffany fighting, or like Chucky running around the grave. It's clearly
Yeah.
just like a child in a Halloween costume.
It's Bob Gale.
100%. Yes.
It's Bob Gale.
Is it?
Yeah, who did Howard the Duck?
Interesting.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
The actor Bob Gale who played
Movie
Howard the Duck.
Okay.
That was him in the pit, like in the grave.
Yeah.
When he's running back and forth. That's Bob Gale like doing that. Yeah.
It's
Cool.
fantastic.
Yeah. So then we have where the detective, he shows up just in time, and then he's like, you know what, you guys, you go home, Jesse and Jade, and I'll take care of the rest, right? So they just walk away. They don't get into like a
nothing.
vehicle. Like Jesse's kind of wounded. He got stabbed in the back.
I probably should call
And they're
someone.
like, we'll just walk home from here. It's actually not that far. So Jesse and Jade head off.
It'd be funny if they like panned over a little bit and you just saw like Jesse's trailer park off to the side.
Yeah. It's like they didn't even. Where were they driving? They're just like driving around in circles the whole time. So they walk away. We don't see what happens to them after this. And the detective stays back, and he witnesses that Tiffany kind of like is screaming, and then she gives birth. Like blood splatters all over his face, and then she gives birth to like a little other doll that
The
like
child of Chucky.
the child of
Or
so,
Seed of Chucky.
Seed of Chucky. So then
That's the fifth one.
that's the end. Yeah.
Wait,
this
is that the next one?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
who'd have thought?
Yeah. And so, and then that's the end. I think this movie has a great soundtrack, great puppeteering, great score, great voice acting. The only qualm I kind of have is maybe Jesse and Jade. I
Sure.
feel like they're not on par with everybody else in this movie.
Yeah, it's funny when you watch Jesse act next to like before Tiffany's put into the doll body, when he's just acting alongside Jennifer Tilly, and it's like a master class versus like amateur hour.
Yeah.
It's like a real actress versus a soap opera actor.
Yeah. And so we just see, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of my only the only weak part of this movie. I feel like otherwise like it plays out pretty good. I don't know.
I would say just like if I had any qualms with it, it would be maybe just the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's even like the birth of the doll. You're just like, you went a little too far into the one direction, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I know what you're saying, and I don't know if you can feel this, but like it happened too fast.
Yeah.
Like they could have built up to
That's
that a
one of
little
the
more
problems.
slowly, and you could have experienced
Or
that,
just
but,
not did it.
or not did it at all.
Because that was a thing. Because I was saying it initially at the very beginning of the episode, like the first three movies are, for the most part, pretty grounded.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like,
Wait, are you asking me if I
Well,
know what you mean?
EJ,
Yes. I agree.
kind of grounded. This one, it just got
You turned away
so
from me so fast.
It got so cartoony that some of that stuff towards the end, I'm just like, okay, but looking at it now, like when I was watching it last night, like it lands better for me now.
Yeah.
Maybe because I've had so much time with like the later sequels and the show.
Right.
I'm more of accepting of it all. But I'm telling you, the first time I saw that in the theater, I was just like, what is that?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like it a lot now. So
I do too. And how about you?
it's my
Vince?
fourth favorite
What?
Child's Play.
Yeah.
My fourth. So what does that say to you guys? That like in the grand scheme of all, how many have you seen? I've seen 2.
Of the Child's Play movies?
Yes.
All of
Okay.
them, all
Wait.
of them,
Everybody,
yeah.
listen. I've seen 2. This is better than the first one that I saw because I thought it was more enjoyable and more playful. So in the grand scheme of all of the Chuckies, where do you rate this?
Fourth.
4th.
Yeah.
So this is the 3rd. So you have. How do you rank this? Where does this
For
go?
me, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is 4.
I think actually in a
You're
weird
a
way
little
that
different.
like In the movie, no, I actually, I do like 3 a lot, but I feel like they do have, it's like the 1% thing.
Yeah.
I totally, I agree with that. Because I feel like
Thanks, Leo.
it almost goes
Thank
in
you,
order,
Leo.
you know?
Yeah.
I do like the last Cult of Chucky over Curse. So I would say that's the only weird one that is like, I would flip. Right?
I would say this about the Child's Play, or what is it now, Chucky franchise.
Yeah.
It really goes a long way having the same writer
Yeah,
for
Don
all your
Mancini,
movies. Don
right?
Mancini has been with this franchise since the first one. That's kind of a rarity in horror, to have the same like vision pretty much all the way down the line. I have never seen a Chucky anything that I'm like, I can't watch this.
Why do you think?
What's up?
Why do you think that's beneficial?
Because I think that like he just understands those characters really well. And I think in the hands of somebody else, like maybe wouldn't take the time to understand them, or like, you know, you'd have somebody who wanted to put their stamp on it, and then it would be this completely different thing. It happens a lot on TV shows. The longer a show goes on, they bring in new showrunners, and the showrunners want to be like, I want my
stamp on it. I want people to know
so
my
people
episodes.
Like, oh, I was on the 5th season. Look how I ruined the show. So like, I mean, like that happens in like, you know, the Halloween movies and the Friday the 13th movies. It's just, you get the wrong creative team in there, and it turns into schlock really quickly. In the Child's Play movies, it's always just a thing where you're like, even when it's not the best movie, like I would say Seed of Chucky is miles below the other 4, but it's still just a thing where you're like, man, he loves those characters.
So you think it's beneficial to have that person in
You need like
Stay with the
an
franchise.
overseer, somebody who's just, you know, like I feel like if you had like, say, like John Carpenter doing all the Halloween movies, they probably would have turned out very differently.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not because Halloween, I love Halloween. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is that like, you know, I feel Don Mancini in all of those movies.
Yes. Yeah. Because he created that world, and so it's kind of like, that's why I think it fits. Like each of them are like, you know, a doll part, and they all kind of fit together perfectly. And so, it's his, yeah. And so, like he said, like sometimes other writers come in and they're like, you know, Aaron Kruger when he came in for like Scream 3, and tries to put a stamp on it and just didn't understand the mechanics of like the voice changer,
The characters were
so
so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like there's like people that come in and they're like, oh, I got to put my stamp on this and make this happen.
You know, it's a
with these
great
things.
example. The Saw movies, because it's always been the same creative team, and those movies have an incredibly tight continuity.
Right.
And you could tell that people making those movies love making those movies. So, like, I feel like when I watch them, they all feel like each other. Not in a bad way either.
Right.
Like, they just all feel like the same franchise.
not just making a movie, but making that specific movie, being true to the franchise.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, especially for some of those movies that came out in like the 70s and the 80s, like a lot of these filmmakers that they would hire to do these jobs, like they just wanted like a paycheck.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes they just were not like fans of the franchise. And sometimes when you bring in people who are not necessarily like well acquainted with it, they might go off in some ways that might damage the franchise a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get lucky, like the director of this movie, Ronnie Yu, very much was on the record saying he had never seen any of them. And that's why they hired him, because they wanted somebody with like a fresh approach,
Fresh set of
directorial
eyes.
style. And that did a lot of good for that movie. Mm-hmm. But I think when it comes down to the story stuff, it's incredibly beneficial just to have somebody just on the ground floor who's like, don't do that. That character wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Or like, they wouldn't act like that. They wouldn't like, you know, somebody who's not Don Mancini might have this desire to make Chucky sympathetic. And the second you do that, it's over.
Right.
Like Chucky is like a bastard.
Right.
And he loves
yeah.
him. He's just evil.
And that's why he's such a beloved character.
Yeah.
Because he never strayed away from being what he was.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you watch the second season of Chucky?
No.
There's
Not
literally
yet.
a
I
part.
plan on it,
There's
but-
literally a part where they're trying to drown him in holy water and it's burning him. Like it's so funny because you're like, he's just so evil.
Yeah. And even in this, you know what I mean? Like he really has no filter when it comes to things, and isn't really aware of Tiffany's feelings a lot
Yeah.
of times, you know. And but with that even being said, just how he has a no value for life, other people's lives, you know what I mean? And then he's the whole ring thing. Oh man, yeah, that could go for 500,000.
5,000.
5,000. Yeah, 5,000
Yeah.
easily.
Easy.
And so it's just, I don't know, it's just really funny. But I think that's why he's so beloved.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where not all the movies are as great as the other movies, but they all feel honest.
Yeah.
You know, even when they're not strong, it's they still feel like they're part of the same franchise. Sometimes it gets super goofy, and then it gets pulled back to being the horror movie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's why I think that franchise has endured for so long. And thank God that Brad Dourif has just committed to that character the way that he did, because man, without him, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
He's like that thing, the Death Star. You know, you take him out and the whole fucking thing goes up.
Yes, I
just
totally agree.
I love how committed, and that's what I said at the beginning too about Jennifer Tilly. She just, you could tell she loves playing that character. She just seems like she's just having the time of her life.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
Yes,
emojis.
Yes, let's do our emojis. Mr. Vince, would you like to go first?
All right. I have an explosion. I have a van. I have a bomb and a shell, because Jennifer Tilly is a bombshell.
Oh,
That's
very
all
cool.
I got.
I have a little chapel church kind of thing.
Little chapel?
A heart,
Okay.
a knife, and a van.
Knife and a
A
van.
knife van.
No explosion for the van?
No, I
The fact
should've.
that they threw that shit in there blew my mind.
Well,
Just a
having-
van explodes and everybody's okay with it.
yeah.
That's
That's-
normal.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
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 Oh, well, by the way, that shot where he's jumping from the Winnebago when it blows up,
Yeah.
it's so cool looking. And I was kind
No,
of curious.
there's a lot of these things, when we watch it, I understand that it's a horror movie and there's a bunch of tropes and there's a bunch of things, but some of this shit is just beautifully shot. It just looks cool.
Yeah.
If you're into cinematography and you're into movies, some of the shit just looks cool, and that's all I can say.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And then, how about you? Your emojis?
I got a spider
Spider.
because of Charlotte.
Yeah.
Spider. I got a knife.
Knife.
I got a champagne bottle.
Nice.
I got a cop. And then I don't have any more because I didn't get prepared.
Fair enough.
Because I was not prepared. So did you want to read our email really quick too?
Yeah, I got two.
Do you have
Oh,
it
we
ready?
have two.
I
'Cause
have it ready.
I just received a text from a longtime listener.
You
It
did.
says, yes, don't forget recycling. Also, close the windows in the girls' room. Oh, no, that's my wife. Never mind. Keep going.
All right, so it says, just listen to the Krampus episode. This is from Michael Vinci. Is that how you say his name?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Future guest, by the way. I can't
Oh,
wait to have
really?
him on. Yeah, he wants to come on.
Wait, do we already know what episode it is that he's going to do?
We'll get there, don't we?
No, I
Yeah,
just
because
wanna-
we're booked for a little bit, but hopefully March, and sometime in March.
And he's going to be on the episode, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Following
I
the beep episode.
can't wait. Oh, my God. I love that movie.
So, okay. Just listen to Krampus episode is what this email was titled. I just listened to it, and I know I missed the next episode where you may or may not have read the emails, but I just wanted to respond to Rory's comment about needing to grow up. All I have to say is, I am grown up. You grow up. I am rubber and you're glue, so therefore, we both aren't doing so good, and you should probably see a doctor.
Perfect.
I love it.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And it tracks.
Yeah.
Mike, for the record, there was no question in there.
No, it wasn't. It's okay.
All right, so the next one is from friend of the show, Jon Snow. Evening, gentlemen. I have a few suggestions that you may or may not decide to follow up on. My suggestions have quickly turned to demands, are as followed. Review Peter Jackson's magnum opus. I'm referring to the classic and award-winning Dead Alive, a.k.a.
Yes.
Brain Dead. Absolutely, John.
Absolutely.
That's a fantastic movie.
So when I tell people about what we do here, everybody says you need to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Dead Alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, like a handful of people at the bar be like, you need to watch that.
Yeah.
Number 2. When is Jon Snow coming back on the podcast? He's
Whenever
Gotta
you're fucking
read the email, Vince.
I want to get there. John, whenever you're fucking ready, text one of us and we'll have you here.
Yes.
Or tell Elle next time she comes to pick up her food at Three Jacks Burger Bar, where we have the best food and wing bite prices on Thursday and the lunchbox. But go ahead, Rory. I'm sorry.
This is a lengthy email, so
I know,
just hang in there.
I'm
When is
excited.
Number 2. When is Jon Snow coming back on the podcast? He's a handsome man with a sexy voice and deep, insightful takes. I agree. Number 3. Answer this question on air. What is your favorite movie soundtrack?
Oh, shit. I love movie
Wait.
soundtracks.
Soundtrack or score? Soundtrack, right? Soundtrack?
I think you
Forrest Gump.
probably
Done.
either one. Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump. Done.
That's a really good soundtrack.
That's a good one. Go ahead.
This is tough because I don't know if I can count musicals or not, but I do love Grease. And you know what? No, if I had to just pick
Sandy.
just like a motion picture one, I guess it would be probably Dirty Dancing.
Nice.
I'm a big Dirty Dancing fan.
Okay.
I want to. I mean, the only thing that's coming to my head right now, because it's really late, John, I'm so sorry, is probably the Fright Night soundtrack. I mean, like score and songs.
Yeah.
So you said Forrest Gump?
It's tough.
Number 4, see Demand Number 2. But add something about tattoos and how they make him look like a real bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Who? What? Huh?
John. He's
Number 5, definitely visit the Saw franchise. Absolutely. I'm excited to get there.
Yeah. I think
I saw one. That was it.
That's
I only
it?
saw
Oh,
one.
okay.
It's a
gonna-
solid franchise, I think.
Okay.
Solid.
This is for Vince. Vince, what are some movies you haven't seen that would shock people or perhaps even make them angry? Mine is the Back to the Future movies. Never saw them.
Godfather is one that I know that really upsets people.
Yes.
Godfather 1, Godfather 2. I just saw Predator. I just saw Aliens, so that doesn't count anymore. I'm trying to think of like a really big one.
Aliens you haven't seen.
Alien? No, I saw Alien. I didn't see Aliens. I'm trying to think of another big one.
Yeah.
You would know better than me. Like
I didn't see.
How have I offended you, Rory?
Huh?
What have I offended you with? Where you've asked me like, "Hey, did you see?" And I'm like, "No, never saw light." Okay, how about this? Just rattle horror movies to me that are classics that I should have seen.
Halloween.
Nope.
Exorcist?
Yes.
The Shining.
Yes.
Yeah, I already
Night
did
of
it.
the Living Dead. No.
Return of the Living Dead.
No.
Ooh, that's coming up.
We have to do that. That's like one of my favorites. A movie I haven't seen, I get shit about. Well, Braveheart, I didn't see that. Or Sound of Music, I've never watched.
Oh my god. Okay. Wait. Okay,
Yeah.
let me get there. Sound of Music. My grandfather passed away this weekend. His favorite movie was The Sound of Music. He was 97 years old. It is beautiful. If there's songs in it, it's a musical, it's a movie, it's everything you want it to be. And I've mentioned it before where, like, in the vein of Stanley Kubrick, the shot in The Sound of Music where they like swoop in with when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's beautiful. The soundtrack is amazing. Songs that you'll remember for the rest of your life. It's fantastic. Sound of Music is amazing.
I have to watch it.
Number 7.
Oh shit! There's more.
Man, Jon Snow has a great fashion sense. He wears the shit out of them tracksuits. I agree.
Yes.
So much
Rory.
Adidas.
Agreed.
Number 8.
Is he sponsored by Adidas, or how does that? I don't know how that works.
On the number 8. Rory FMK. Oh, fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah.
Scorsese, Spielberg, Coppola.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, it's real easy. You want to marry Scorsese. You want to fuck Spielberg.
And then you want to kill. Yeah.
But yeah, that's fair. For the record, though, I would never want to kill Coppola because he's made some of the greatest pieces of cinema ever. I mean, the guy's track record's incredible, but if you're going to marry one of them guys, you're taking Scorsese home.
Well, my thing about that is,
Spielberg.
I would want to marry Scorsese, then kill him, then fuck him.
Number 9.
In that order.
Number 9, EJ. Whatever happened to River Dudes? I think Jon Snow was great on that.
Oh, we did up to season 3, I think. We finished season 3, and then Ross just hated the show and did not want to do any more episodes.
What is River Dudes? Is that's the TV show that it was like an animated series about the guys from like what was it called? What was that show?
Oh, so River Dudes, it was our podcast.
Yeah, but it was about what show?
But it was about Riverdale.
It was
which
an
is
animated
based
series,
on
right?
No, it was a live action series based on the Archie comics. Yeah.
Yeah. Animated series. Got it.
Number 10. Thank you for kind of answered that.
Yeah.
It died because Ross hates it. Number 10. Intricately describe what would happen if the three of you got into a knockdown, drag-out fight. Give in-depth explanation of your individual strengths and weakness to be exploited at a later date. Please note that if my demands are not met in a timely manner, there will be reprisals. You will rue the day you cross me. Signed, a concerned citizen.
I love it.
What would happen if we got into a fight? I would probably just get into a fetal position and shriek.
I feel like I would get a punch bowl, pour it over Vince's head, then strip him down, and have us all take turns just like punching Vince, like
Calling me Buffalo.
Yeah, I would be like, "Come on, Buffalo," and then I would just be punching him. How about you? What would you do to Vince?
Ditto.
Ditto.
I would marry Rory, fuck EJ,
Kill
Rory, and make him watch me.
Oh
my
cool.
God.
Yeah.
That wasn't even asked.
That wasn't even asked.
That's something you thought about.
You just volunteered to do this.
I offered that up.
Yeah.
With previous knowledge.
Yeah, no, I thank you, Jon Snow, for that amazing email. Loved it. And thank you, Mike, for his awesome email about Krampus.
Do you know I've noticed a common trend in some of our emails?
People hate us.
Well, they hate us, and they all talk about how handsome they think they are. And they are. They're all very handsome men.
That's the thing.
But that's our message from Kevin. Same thing.
Yeah. Little do they know.
Little do they know that they're all handsome.
Kevin, get a tracksuit.
Yeah. Start a tracksuit mafia. That's where it's at.
Ooh.
Hey, John and Kevin, you guys should start a tracksuit mafia. That's a pretty good name for a band.
Yeah. We're the tracksuit mafia. And then there's a guy on like a treadmill, and that's like their spiel. Like they're all in tracksuits and they do have instruments, but there is just one guy in the band that's on a treadmill the whole time and running.
Awesome.
Yeah. No. So, really quick, let's talk about plugs. Where you want to go first?
Ravenview Productions on the YouTube and the Facebook. Fourth Cut Reviews. You know, that you can find them on
YouTubes.
YouTube. That's on the YouTubes as well. Also, I want to do a little shout out to Variant Season.
Will
Perna's
Mark
band. Those guys are fantastic. Kitties of NEPA Pet Rescue. Look them up. You can get involved with helping out cats, and if you don't want to, then go fuck yourself.
Ella.
Yeah, Vince, go ahead.
I don't have anything, dude. I'm shot. We're done. We're over this. It's too late for me. The only thing I could think of is what constantly is running through my mind, which is 3 Jack's Burger Bar. $2 off wing bites on Thursday. Wing bites, wing bite combos. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want. $3 Jack and Cokes, $6 Jack and Coke doubles. Doesn't matter.
And for limited time only, get the lunchbox.
February.
6-ounce beef patty.
8-ounce beef patty stuffed with...
Oh, I'm wrong.
No, you're good. Keep going. 8-ounce beef... say it sexy, though. 8-ounce beef patty.
8-ounce beef patty stuffed with peanut butter.
Stuffed with peanut butter.
Stuffed so hard with peanut butter. Pepper jack cheese.
Pepper jack cheese.
And then we smear some bacon jam
Jam.
all over those buns.
All over those buns.
Where you want that bacon jam? Oh, smear it.
I want to smear that.
Smear it all over
Baby,
my buns.
I want to smear your buns.
Oh my God. It's so dirty. I like it.
Where do you want the peanut butter? Inside.
Inside.
So I like to plug something. Can I
Yeah.
plug something?
Yeah.
All right. So there's this podcast. It's called FREAKQUELS. I don't know if you like movies or things like that, but there's this podcast called FREAKQUELS. It's 3 idiots literally talking to each other.
Hey.
And we're just having fun. We're goofing around. 3 goofballs. We have fun.
Yeah.
Like us. Review us.
Yes.
Give us 5 stars. Even if you hate the show. Just give us 5 stars and
At
then
least.
just demolish us in the comments. Please.
Yeah.
You don't have to like us, but if you want us to read how terrible you think we are, give us 5 stars and then we'll read it.
And if you give us all good stars, I'll tell you lots of stories about Ella and
Yeah.
my cat Pumpkin. They've got little adventures around my apartment that I would love to share with all of you. And heck, if we start getting those numbers up, maybe I'll start posting some pictures of them too.
Adorbs.
Yeah. And Ella just got her gun license.
She did. I took her out to go hunt people.
Her concealed carry permit?
Yeah.
You got a little kitten?
You ever have a
She's like, she just lifts up a patch of fur and there's a gun.
Strapped.
gun there?
Yeah.
Strapped.
Yeah. No.
Adorable but deadly.
Yeah.
Shout out, special guest, Matt Rinaldi. He was
Yes.
here. He left. It's
Well,
fucking-
actually,
I
he's
don't
in.
blame-
He's in his closet.
He didn't leave. He is back in his closet where he belongs.
I heard
okay?
him like crawling around in the ventilation system.
It's. I gave him there's 4 or 5 pieces of cheese in there, so he'll be fine
Okay.
for the rest of the week.
Guys, I don't want to eat those pot pies
Nah.
anymore.
It's just too much.
I found a
I've
nail
been
in one.
enjoying them a lot.
You've been having horrible stomach issues.
I know.
I had to hold you while you screamed.
They're delicious stuff.
Who'd have thought
They
pot-
are delicious. No
pot
one's saying
pie
they're
would
not
just-
delicious, but they're not good for us.
pot pie shouldn't do that to your stomach. It's not normal.
Pot pie should make you cry. A pot pie should make you cry.
You know what? I like them because it makes me feel.
Things?
That is a
I don't
problem.
know.
What?
So, yeah, really quick, I just want to plug Adam Farley's music. His show, March 15th in Oliphant. Also, Jon Snow has a show coming up, March 23rd at the Moon Tavern. So check those out.
If
and
you're available,
check
go
out
check
their
it out, guys. Even
their
if you
shows.
can't go, just buy a ticket and don't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could always find Adam Farley's music on iTunes and Spotify.
I found him on Apple iTunes. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's not hard to find.
No, it pops. It should pop
Yeah.
up.
Just type it in.
Yeah. And then, but with that being said, guys, thank you so much for listening, and thank you for checking out another episode of.